Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Tina. I'm an analytical thinker from the linear world who is 5 years into my journey of self-discovery. I'm here to share with you a few tools which have served me well as I venture down this path of transformation. This is video number 10 of 14. I posted my first video 2 months ago or so. As an introduction as to why I would begin these videos, this YouTube channel at the age of 50. So feel free to hop over to that video if you would like more details. But quite simply, I began this series of videos in order to assist people like me coming from a more linear mindset walk down or upon this new path of self-discovery. I attempt to keep the videos to about 15 minutes in length, and I post every Thursday afternoon. Today's topic that we're going to discuss is our tribe. Our tribe is actually the 9th chapter of the book that I'm writing that goes by the same title as these videos, which is The Spiritual Awakening of an Analytical Mind. As always, future videos will follow the chapters in sequence as we go through. As I've mentioned in past videos, this book was put into my path about 2.5 years ago. And more recently, I was guided that I needed to begin these videos in order to get the nuggets of information into your hands a little bit sooner, and therefore the YouTube channel was born. So with that, let's get started. Again, today's topic is our tribe. For purposes of this book and for these videos, I'm referring to our tribe as our people. People who are on a journey similar to ours and are likely vibrating at a similar frequency as us. These are the people who will understand our journey, people with whom we'll share experiences with, and people with whom we'll form a spiritual connection to. Finding this group can take a little time, and some of the tribe may only be part of our group for a period of time, for people come into our lives and people leave our lives. Typically once we've learned the lessons that we have needed to learn from them, or vice versa. For that matter, we may belong to a larger group if we can find access to that, and on the side we may have our own little personal tribe. So they're closest to us. So there's many variations of this. So I guess with that, let's dive into our tribe. Once again, I've broken this into 3 categories. They are acquaintances already connected, finding our tribe, and tribe alternatives. First up are acquaintances already connected. I know for at least me, as I began this journey, teaming up with somebody who has already had an experience in whatever we were going to do or had been to where we were going to do, helped to take a little bit of that angst off me, of not having control, of not knowing what we were stepping forward into. So finding people who understand this road we're embarking on, it just makes the road a little bit easier. So if you're able to do that, I highly recommend finding a magical friend out there. Doesn't mean that our paths are going to be the same for the full duration, but it just helps us take those first steps. Finding our people can often feed into a network of magical people, right? So it's kind of like networking for business. For me, my introduction was through my sister and her good friend, who is now my good friend, and just the 2 of them have introduced me. I have to read through this. I was laughing when I wrote it down. They've introduced me to 2 psychics, a local holistic shop, Yoga Nidra, Reiki, Akashic Records, Access Bars, the Shaman, New and Full Moon Ceremonies, a tarot card reader, a polarity practitioner, my chiropractor, a bit of astrology, intuitive healing, and a magical crystal shop. And then from there, and through those other things, I've ventured out to meet additional magical people, and they have entered my life. So it's pretty incredible. So find those individuals, find especially 1 or 2 magical people that you can bring into your life, and get introduced to new experiences, and develop that tribe. Let that tribe evolve. So the next section is finding our tribe. The experiences we begin to have will open the door for our tribe to develop, quite honestly. We've talked about that a little bit, getting into different groups or community programs. You just have to find those door openers. Like typical friend circles, it's going to evolve, and sometimes we may find that we have little less in common with our kind of mainstream friends. And it doesn't mean we're kicking them to the curb at all. It just means that we're giving ourselves a space and allowing ourselves to grow and evolve and kind of discover this path a little bit, right? Allow ourselves to be what we are looking to be in this. And then finding, as I mentioned before, finding a larger group to participate in activities is fantastic. As is human nature, we may kind of be drawn to maybe 2 or 3 individuals that we form a closer bond with, and maybe those people become part of our personal tribes. We have our larger tribe here that we may gather with and do stuff with, but really it's this personal tribe that we kind of form that strong connection. And honestly, if we're going to talk business, there's the subject matter experts too. Sometimes, we may not get together with these other people that have magical abilities or different things, but we can call them in and maybe we do different things. So, our personal tribe develops into, what we're doing on our path, who we feel connected to, those who can, help lead us into different areas or introduce us to new things. So it evolves, it molds, it comes and goes, ebbs and flows. You just have to kind of go with it a bit, but it's all good. Unlike in some mainstream worlds where people get upset as we venture in and out a little bit, it's really of no concern. There's an understanding that we're each discovering ourselves, and we may be pulled to what calls to us individually at any given point in time. So there's that. In the end, finding our tribe allows us to have a team on this journey, even if it's to call somebody up to say, you won't believe what just happened, and have that person be so absolutely fascinated by what you have to say, right? It's a magical time, and many magical synchronicities are occurring or are bound to occur, and it's just nice to have the ear of somebody who appreciates what we're going through, what we're saying. Okay, the last grouping is tribe alternatives. And although being around like-minded individuals on this journey is great and gives us companionship, reassurance, offers us introductions into new experiences, there's other options as well. Being who I am, I just naturally kind of shifted into doing some stuff solo. And part of that was my own insecurities with this new world and doing some things in front of others. But I also know, so maybe that sounds a little negative, but it also allowed me to grow freely. Does that make sense? Because there were insecurities, if I did it on my own, I could let it all out kind of thing. So there is, I call it the solo tribe, the lone wolf tribe. And for me, again, it allowed me to open because I wasn't insecure and say, when I was doing ceremony, I was able to practice the ritual of it. It allowed me to journey on my own and get into that. And I honestly think it allowed me to grow. And the other part is, I do believe, it's fun to share some of the magic with others, and we all do it. But it's also sometimes nice when something magical happens to keep that to ourselves and just let it be. So I guess with anything, it's a healthy balance, finding our, individual lone wolf time as well as our physical tribe time as well, and finding what balance works for you. The last part is that of our personal tribe, or for our tribe alternatives, is our spiritual guides. And I know that may sound a little crazy to some of you, so let me explain a little bit. I struggled, and I think I've shared with this, I struggled with my intuition for a long time as I started this journey. And it wasn't until I began opening. So I'd done a lot of clearing, I'd done a lot of self-healing, I've used my crystals to get the energy going, seen, my sister's Reiki practitioner, and she worked on me a ton. We did ancestral healing. I connected with my ancestors. I did all that genealogy that I had talked about before. I think I've talked about, or we will talk about. And I meditated. And it was finally during meditation where I started sensing things. Initially I had used my pendulum, and I would use that to talk to my ancestors or to my guides. But when this all started happening, I was hooked. And I kind of took it too far as I was doing more by myself and connecting to my spiritual guides than participating in some physical human connection with my personal tribe. So again, it's finding that healthy balance. And connecting to your spiritual guide, I will say this: it will evolve. It will present itself when it is meant to present itself. So I'm not going to get into a lot of details as to how you do it, because I feel like that just leads people into a path that they may not be ready for. But it is magical. But I would just, do it as it comes to you, I would say. Listen to your gut, listen to your intuition. And really, once again, it's really finding that healthy balance of tribe, but there's so many options for you. And again, it's going to evolve. People, places, things come into our lives and they leave our lives, and they all come for a reason. So learn what you can from them, and they may be doing the same back to you, and it evolves. Just remember that each of our paths is unique, and we are unique individuals, and we can do all this stuff with our tribes or our personal tribes or our spiritual tribes, but our journey is meant to be our journey. So none of us are going to do the exact same thing on this journey. So just remember that. Your journey is your journey. And that's a wrap. Next Thursday's video, we'll discuss creativity, which is a fun one to discuss, and many of us can work on that. And in the meantime, as always, if you would like to receive my Monday morning videos, feel free to subscribe under tinalmoody.com, and I send out that email each Monday morning offering words of inspiration to take on your week. And I think that's it. Again, next video will be creativity. And I guess that's it. We're short today. Much love and gratitude to you for joining me here today. Thank you for your patience. I was slightly late this afternoon. A lot going on as we wrap up school. And I hope you'll join me here next Thursday as we talk about creativity. And in the meantime, have a wonderful week and a great weekend. Take care.